Different's great, but being different for the sake of being different, I'm not a big fan of, right? If you just want to be different for the sake of
technology increased, I would hide behind it.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you. Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome to the Master Connector Show. I'm your co-host, Rob Genovese, and we're coming at you every single Wednesday on the Master Connector Show, bringing you amazing guests. We want you to be able to tune in, mark your calendars every single week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, as we bring you amazing people who've accomplished everything from people. We have people that are authors, TED speakers, accomplished business owners, multiple business owners, serial entrepreneurs, people who are a force field in the corporate world. And we've got somebody each week that you can relate to and that you can learn from to help you level up your game. And we are booked every single week and well into 2025, which is right around the corner, by the way. So go to masterconnector.show and check out the lineup that we've got for you. My buddy Steve is bringing you amazing, amazing people. He's meeting everywhere he goes in real life, on LinkedIn, and bringing them here live so we can find out how they get to where they got, get some insight into what they do, how they become successful, pass that info on to you because we want you to be successful in whatever you're doing. You know, today's show, How to Ignite Your Light. I'm excited to talk with today's guest. We were just talking in the green room a little bit, and a lot of insight you're going to get today on a topic that you don't really hear a lot about. So we're going to bring that to you. And, my co-host, Steve, my gosh, we go back 26 years. We are two former shy guys. Hey, if you're shy out there, if you're an introvert, there is hope. We are two former shy guys, two introverts who became connectors. We networked a tremendous amount. We learned how to do it effectively. And we're not shy anymore, but we're still introverts. So you can do it too. I used to think I'm an introvert. I can't really be successful in business. I'm kind of shy. I can't really connect with people and network the way others can who are these type A personalities or these drivers. Wrong. Steve and I have both done it. We've overcome a lot, and our overcoming stories are part of our journey. We want to hear about your journey. So we're going to be calling for you to get in the comments today, but I'm going to bring them on up. Listen, Steve is a master. He's the master connector. He's got a couple of black belts. He ran businesses from a young age. Just an overcomer, overcoming things like dyslexia, introversion, bullying, shyness, a lot of overcoming. But listen, the overcoming stories are the things that you hold on to so that you can level up your game. So help me bring him on. Welcome him to the Master Connector Show, the Master Connector, Mr. Steve Spiro. What's up, Steve?
What's up, Robbie G? What's going on, bud? It is great. And what a journey it's been. I'll tell you what, one of the biggest obstacles, I was talking to a big group yesterday when I was speaking, and it's like I, for a long time, thought that this world would be an incredible world if it wasn't for people. I really did, like that, like it'd be great, but anyway, I realized that to have a fulfilled life, you need to not only be able to deal with people, but actually really embrace it and love people and really look to be a blessing to them. And so that is really my mission today, is to be that light. And it's good. We're going to have a fun time. So appreciate you, Robbie G, being a big part of the vision that we have together and bringing value to the show. So what's going on, friends? Steve Spiro, the Master Connector, coming at you live and direct. And I'm excited to be here with you. And listen, if you're here watching, which I hope you are, every Wednesday, as Rob said, get in the comments, connect with each other. Let us know where you're coming from, the city, the state, the country. We don't know you're here unless you're in the comments. It's not, I know LinkedIn has the LinkedIn audio. It's great. Problem is with that, you could see who's on the show with you if you have a audio show, but with video, we don't know. So get in the comments. We want to hear from you. And it is the Master Connector Show. So this is an opportunity to connect with each other and actually, build and grow your community, which is one of our pillars, build community and growing connections. But listen, in general, I really love being on stages And speaking about how to ignite your light, right? Because it empowers people to discover and embrace their full potential, right? One powerful way to ignite your light is by leveraging emotional intelligence to unlock untapped potential and tackle personal and professional challenges with confidence. That was a big one for me. I was like, like I would hide behind all myself because I didn't want people to know, the true person I was because I was so flawed at the time, right? But emotional intelligence helps you navigate relationships, right? Manage stress and approach obstacles with a sense of resilience and purpose. And to me, it's all about purpose. That's what drives me. I believe that's what drives Rob as well, right? Building social capital is equally critical as authentic connections and strong networks lay the foundation for long-term business success, right? I said it before. You're not going to be able to really thrive and succeed in this world if you can't build those long-term relationships and so forth, right? But when you prioritize authentic relationships, you create a support system that amplifies your reach and impact in a particular or any industry, right? And combining emotional intelligence with social capital allows you to identify the key touch points that deliver and drive deeper connections with customers and your community, right? Understanding your customers' needs and behaviors help you create tailored strategies that lead to greater satisfaction and loyalty. And the intersection of emotional intelligence and social capital and customer insights is where your light truly shines the brightest. And when you align your authentic self with these principles, you not only do you grow as a leader, but you also inspire others to do the same. So if you're ready for my man, Mr. Robbie G, to bring up our guest, type in the hashtag let's go in the comments. And Robbie G, let's go.
All right, let's go indeed. Listen up, audience. Luz Gonzalez is a certified diversity, equity, and inclusion consultant and EQ expert, which I love. She's a highly engaging speaker, trainer, and facilitator and has been driving DEIB initiatives, building on conscious leadership, career progression, and fostering inclusive environments. Luz has presented internationally on unconscious bias, leveraging emotional intelligence to advance your career, cultural awareness, mentorship training, and Hispanic Heritage Month. She uses her proprietary GAIN model to help clients, institutions, and organizations unlock struggles when it comes to authentic communication and relationship building. Through her business, EQ Refined, Luz offers companies and organizations self-directing tools, strategies, and training, which increases awareness and emotional intelligence in the workplace. In addition, Luz currently holds a seat as a board member of Project Innovate Newark, which is focused on designing and implementing educational programs for students in Newark, New Jersey, by developing curriculums in growing fields, engaging the students, and generating professional opportunities. Please welcome to the show, Luz Gonzalez. What's up, Luz?
Hi. Hi, guys. How are
Welcome.
you? What a beautiful intro. Thanks so much.
Thank you for being here.
Kudos to you, Rob, because that is a lot to read. And man, as a dyslexic, man, that is intimidating to me. So way to go on that for sure. But Luz, really, really honored, super honored to have you on the show here. We
Thank
appreciate you
you.
big time.
Same,
Yep.
same. No, and
Yeah.
I think the message that you're relaying is so invaluable. I got to work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and that's one of the biggest questions, right? As an introvert, how do you network?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Well, we want to dig right into this and community type in right now, hashtag ignite light, right? And we want to talk about that, right? We want to talk about, your light and a big part of our show is being the light and uplift and inspire people, right? That's our mission. So for you, Luz, what does igniting your light mean to you? And how can others embrace this concept in their lives and at work?
Great question. So, fun fact for those of you who don't know Spanish, luz is light in Spanish. And for many years of my life, I did not like my name because people didn't know how to pronounce it. I lived in a majority English speaking neighborhood. I am a child of immigrants, Colombian parents, and my name Luz means light. So it would be Luz, Louis, Lou, and I would hate it until I went to the Philippines where I lived, and one of their major islands is called Luzon. And so when people would say, "Oh, Luz, like one of our major islands," I would see people light up with recognition. And it started to help me connect the dots of when something resonates within on a different level, on a deeper level, we get ignited. And then little by little, I start seeing in my life how I have dimmed my light because of, I am also shy, by the way. I'm also an introvert. I'm in a relationship with a major extrovert. So during COVID, he was going crazy, like, "Aren't you going crazy?" And I'm like, "No, I'm perfectly fine staying at home." And then we would go out. And he's like, "Why aren't you networking?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I don't understand the purpose of going up to a stranger for no reason." So I would see how I would dim my light and how others would dim their light as well because of fear. And then I also knew how I had to use emotional intelligence to challenge myself and really tap into what ignited me. Where would I be if fear wasn't a question? How would that look like? And then I would see the room light up with my presence, with my connection, and then the same with others. And that's what got me to step up and have my own business called EQ Refined.
Love that. That's great. Well, hey, it's funny because we share that in common, right? Being shy and introverted, right? And you could tell. I mean, us introverts, we know when we spot an introvert, we're low key. We're not like you know. Um, but anyway, I am one of those crazy guys, and maybe I don't have emotional intelligence. I don't know, but I am one of those crazy guys that talks to strangers, even though I'm an introvert, right? And I love it. It actually really stretches me. And my slogan is there's danger in the comfort zone. And I just always want to try to be somebody
Well,
different.
Steve, you and I came up that way as
Yeah.
you owned a business before I did, but when we came together, we were part of the same business team, learned from
Yeah.
similar mentors, Luz. And what Steve is saying, that was so far out of my comfort zone. Number one, to talk to somebody I kind of knew was challenging. I couldn't get the words out. I didn't know what to say. I couldn't have a conversation. So our mentor was like, "You want to get past that?" I'm like, "Please." He goes, "Go to a grocery store, and when you're online buying bread, turn around and talk to the person behind you." I was like, "Are you insane?" But that pushed me so far out that once I did that, it was like, well, there's no more fear, because if you can talk to a complete stranger, that's what helped me anyway.
Absolutely. And in reality, listen, in reality, networking is doing that. It's talking to strangers. So it prepared us, but on the extreme side, right? And now, when you go up to somebody at a networking event who's there to actually talk to other people, it's that much easier. But it definitely was a tough thing for us, for sure. Well, we want to dig in on emotional intelligence. So put in the community, type in hashtag emotional intelligence. And by the way, welcome to Yolanda. We see you're on here with us. We really appreciate you being on here. Of course, incredible. Coming in from Frisco. Great having you on here. But emotional intelligence, right? So how can emotional intelligence, Luz, help individuals unlock their true potential and navigate personal or professional challenges? We were talking about that a little bit, right?
Yeah, this is huge. So give us a hashtag where you're coming from, where you're calling or joining us from. I'm in New Jersey right now. Like I said before, I lived in the Philippines. I'm from Florida. My parents are Colombian. Tell us in the chat, where are you coming from? And so emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the biggest thing I think can support every single human being out there. Because if you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the first one that needs to be met is food, shelter, clothing, right? As long as I have that, then I could focus a little bit more. But when you're thinking about the day to day, you can't really think about building relationships. You're just in the hustle. And so from there, you move up a little bit more into looking at yourself. Why am I making these decisions? Why am I living this way? What are the patterns that I'm seeing in my life? And that's one of the biggest things when it comes to emotional intelligence. Am I even aware of the things that I'm saying, doing, or living? How many times have you gone to bed and think, "Oh, why did I say that?" Or "Why didn't I do that? I should have." Oh, like all of these self thoughts that are like reliving the day. So when we want to start thinking about emotional intelligence, where do I fit?
Love that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, where do you fit, right? It's could you expand a little bit? I'd love for you to just expand on the where do you fit piece of it, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. So many people that I work with don't even know where they fit, what I'm good at. I've seen so many people in their day-to-day work, in their lives, they're kind of dimmed where they're robotic like, doing the same thing day in, day out. I don't even know how I got to work. Yeah, I brushed my teeth, drank my coffee, got in my car or transportation, and I'm here, but I'm not happy. And if you follow that trajectory 2, 3, 5, 10 years from now, how will it be different if you're not doing something different today? And I work with many individuals in the workplace that are not sure really how to network with the people around them because they don't even know what ignites them. They know they had a passion at one point in their life, but they don't know how to bring that into today's workplace. So, for example, I'll take me. I didn't know where I fit. I knew if you needed something, I could figure it out and deliver. You need a real estate agent, I became a real estate agent. You need someone to work with, doing admin work, I can do that. You need someone to negotiate a deal, I can do that. But it never really lit me up like emotional intelligence did. And then I went into an organization where I saw people didn't know how to talk to each other. And I was like, wait, you don't even know your own strengths. How do you know the strengths of anybody else? So, how do you collaborate efficiently and effectively? We're leaving opportunity, money, relationships on the table when we don't know how to tap into where I fit, like a jigsaw puzzle. We all have our piece in the puzzle, but if we don't know our shape, if we don't know who we are and what lights us up, then we're never able to complete that jigsaw puzzle.
Love that. I want to dig in this a little bit. So hashtag community, type in hashtag relationships because you mentioned relationships, you mentioned a little bit of networking. So I want to talk about it. And one of our pillars of our show is on being authentic, connecting authentically. So what role does authentic relationships and networks play in achieving business success? If you could maybe dig in on that a little bit, that'd be great.
Yeah. So you said it in the beginning of the show. You said the world would be so great if there's just no people. And that's perfect because that's how a lot of us feel. Like, how do you deal with difficult people? How do I talk with, conflict resolution, etc. But if we're able to really, in relationships, see another person and instead of crash, see, okay, what is this person bringing up in me? Why does this person rub me the wrong way? Or I love them instantaneously. I trust them. What is it? And then when you start recognizing each person is bringing something, maybe you're judging them because they have a different skill set. Maybe you're upset at them because you think they're better than you or they're less than you. If we can have a little bit of compassion in our hearts to see this person as struggling or having their own difficulties in life, having their own worries, could a little bit of us open up to compassion to recognize they're part of that jigsaw puzzle that I just talked about, and they fit in here as well. I'm just not recognizing their strengths. And when I can do that, I start to build a different kind of relationship, a more equal type of individual relationship where I recognize people where they're at instead of judging them for where they're not.
One of the things that helped me navigate that, Luz, was when a mentor kind of gave me this to think about. He said, Rob, one of the reasons that you're so restrained with other people and you don't know what to say is because you're very self-conscious. And now when people hear that, they go, oh yeah, I'm a very self-conscious person. And I'm self-conscious around people. He goes, no. You're conscious of your own self. You need to be others conscious because when you're with people, you're thinking about how am I sounding? How do I look? How am I coming across? Do they like me? Don't they like me? Do they think I'm stupid? Like all these things. When you think about the other person and go, oh, you're listening to them and you're going, oh, that's interesting. Tell me about the time when you did that or what happened after that. And you take your mind off yourself. I think what you're saying becomes a lot easier for people because you are just then really building that relationship because it's always about the other person, right?
Well, part of the emotional intelligence model is 4 parts. Excuse me. Self-awareness. I have to be aware of myself. Sometimes, to your point, we're on the opposite end of hyper aware. and that is being counterproductive in our relationship building. Part 2 would be self-regulation. I think one of the most important things in life is, can I regulate my behavior so I'm not stress reactive, reacting through stress, but I'm actually able to pause and be proactive. So that's the first two. The second two pillars, group of pillars, would be social awareness, what you just stated. Am I able to read the room? Am I able to be aware of what are the other people doing, or what they need, or what they're communicating? And then from there, the very last pillar is relationship building. Once I'm able to read the room, can I build relationships? Do I remember someone's name? Dale Carnegie once said, he's a famous individual in the early 1900s up till today, worldwide training for people to improve their relationships is, there's nothing as sweet sounding as the name of someone's name on your lips. So can you remember people's names? Can you put an effort to remembering someone's name? And it goes two ways. Am I supporting you in remembering my name? Have you ever gone into a space and said to your friend, oh, let's avoid that person, I don't remember their name? So it's my job to keep embedding. So someone asked me the other day, Luz, how can I make my name more memorable? You see, so I just embedded my name in the conversation. And by doing that, I'm helping through repetition have muscle memory and helping you remember my name and thus building the relationship.
How do you incorporate Steve though? That's like such a boring, normal name. Luce has got a cool name though. How would you incorporate Steve? That's a great idea, but any ideas on that one? We'll have to get back to me on that one, right?
No, it's
But
it's great. It's Think about all of those testimonials, the lives that you've affected because you stepped out of your comfort zone.
yeah,
There is that very delicate stretch. Your comfort zone is actually very small. Some
yeah.
people think it's big, but it's actually very small. And when you step out of it, you're in the learning zone, and then you're in the growth zone. But be careful not to stretch too far because it could be the panic zone. So
Yeah.
you would talk, Steve, about all of the transformations you've created because you stepped out of that comfort zone to create the show and all the other things you've
One
done.
one thing you're kind of helping me answer the question, but you could say stuff like, and so one of the guys I mentor, he said, Steve, you this, and this for me, right? So I just said it, right? I said, hey, he said, Steve, you this, and this. So you help them if they don't know your name. You can make sure by just quoting them and using your name, right? So I just sort of answered my question. I got to go back though, because the Dale Carnegie, I love that. We quote him a lot in the book. So back in the day when I had an advertising company, I had a partner, and I had horrible people skills, Loose, horrible, right? Back in the day. And he's like, I got good news. We're actually, the company's going to send you to a course. It's called Dale Carnegie. So
Right.
that was his way of saying, Steve, you got terrible people skills. But anyway, but you mentioned before on social and, social skills and things of that nature. And so we want to talk about social capital. So community, type in hashtag social capital. And so here's the question, and you kind of dug into it a little bit, but how could building social capital enhance your ability to create long-term impact in your field or just in general?
Well, I'd love to know from the audience, how many here know what is social capital? So do they have to have a
Hmm.
hashtag before they type, or can they type yes or no?
Whatever works. There's no rules in the Rest of Connector show. Whatever you want to do, community.
Great. Do you know what social capital is? Give me a yes, give me a no. I'd love to know where we want to start off with you all. But social capital, just like capital is money, social capital is my ability to have a network. Do I have a network around me? Every person I go to has their own mini or macro network. And has anyone here ever joined one of those triangle pyramids, not a pyramid scheme, but one of those Tupperware, right? Tupperware is not a bad thing, but it was like one of those kinds of networking kind of thing. And I joined Primerica back in the day. And even Tupperware, my sister joined Tupperware. And one of the things that they do right is they say, get a piece of paper and write down 10, 15 names of people you know right now. And you start thinking, I don't have a network. But when you start writing down people's names, you're realizing, wait a minute, I do know some people. From that line, you're going to say who connected you to that person. You're going to start seeing that there's a master connector in that who has connected me with multiple individuals. Now, I say this because I'm new to New Jersey somewhat. I'm actually, like I mentioned, from Florida, and before that from the Philippines, and then back to Florida and Colombia, etc. But I came here to college in New Jersey when I moved here. And from there, I've been able to grow my network into a thriving business because I've been able to write down who I've met, create relationships with those people, and then those people have introduced me to other people. Because when you're building your business, when you're building your brand, who sees you? Are you building visibility? And from there, you're earning more money because you're connected to more individuals. So I have a livelihood because of my social capital. And I'm fairly new in the space I'm in New Jersey. So think about how you can start building your social capital. And later on, I'm also going to give you a free download where you can start building your own social capital.
Yeah, the social capital, I love that term, and I haven't used that enough. But when I first got into networking, I spent 25 plus years in corporate America. In 2019, went full time in my own business after running it on the side for a while. So I was brand new to in-person networking, to live networking, not social media necessarily. But one of the things I don't know if I always knew this. I'm sure somebody taught me somewhere along the way. But when I did like a one-on-one, a face-to-face meeting with somebody that I met for the first time, I noticed a lot of people were like, let me tell you what I do, or tell me what you do just so I can tell you what I do. And I didn't like that because, we could just hand each other's business cards and be on our way. So we're here to build a relationship. It's what I was after. So one thing I did that actually worked out really well that I didn't really pre-plan necessarily, I invested the capital, whatever I had. I invested in the other person by saying, look, I build brands for companies. It's what I do. So here's what I can give you. And I would always give somebody something of immediate use and value that they could use in their business that day and get some results. And what happened was I became much more visible because people were passing my name around. They were going, hey, have you met this guy, Rob? I'm like, no. Well, you should go get a face-to-face with him because he taught me some stuff. He's a really good guy. Now, whether I'm not a good guy or not is it was irrelevant, but I was giving them something. I invested first. And then what happened was it turned into business on the back end. Now, business people call me up and they're like, I want to talk to you about branding. I'm like, really? Where'd you get my name? And so when you said social capital, is that what you're talking about? Was I investing social capital before I knew what I was doing?
Exactly. And we're not really even looking at it. Anybody think about the last time you went out to eat, right? Either you got the referral of that restaurant directly from a friend that you trust, or you looked up the Google reviews. So that right there became the social capital in the sense of this person trusts this location, I'm going to go do it. Who is in your circle that you're not tapping into, for example? And you're thinking always of ahead and more, but you're not really looking behind you. Who have I met and who has been that master connector that's connected me to so many different individuals? Because I promise you that master connector, like you, Steve, and you, Rob, you're still meeting other people. So there's more people that you could connect people to. So you become a very valuable asset. And I would like to also add, when you're looking at your social capital, you also take care of your social energy, because sometimes we go to multiple networking events not realizing we already have a healthy social capital network with us, but we have not really tapped into it.
Yeah, I love that. Well, listen, speaking of social capital, Rob, I think Luz has something she wanted to talk. You want to talk about that a little bit?
So just be quickly before you go, Luz, I just want to talk to the audience for a second. Here in the Master Connector Show, we bring you amazing guests like Luz to come in and teach from her standpoint, her perspective, her experience, based on her knowledge and everything she's learned along the way. We want to pass it on to you. So we're always about bringing value, but every once in a while, we try to do it regularly. A guest comes on and has something extra that they want to heap on. And Luz, why don't you tell our audience what you have for them?
Well, like I said earlier, I got this information on how to look at my social capital through a person, a mentor of mine that I highly believe in. He created a $1 billion company, unicorn, and he's done it for so many people, and he gives back. To your point, Rob, it's not about the transaction. It's about the transformation. And that's what we want to do, is ignite our light by developing who we are and offering that to people. And you're going to see the transformation in relationships. So how do you look at your social capital? You really, I'm going to give you a download. If you can let them know how to email me and then ask there for the social capital kit, I'm going to share that with you. And also, whether you're working, whether you're an entrepreneur, no matter where you are, you need to learn how to brand yourself. Because when you got that job, you branded yourself. When you have a promotion, you're branding yourself. Or whether you're an entrepreneur, you're branding yourself, and you want to communicate your value. So that's the best way.
I love it. Well, listen, we got to close down. I mean, we could go on for another 3 hours here because you're just incredible value. But what's the best way for the community to reach you? And you've been an incredible asset here for us. But how's the best way you like to reach you?
So my email is Luz, Luz, right? Luz at, and then the company name is EQ Refined. EQ is better than IQ because EQ can be developed all your life. EQ Refined, REFINED.com.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, we appreciate you. We just ask you to go to the green room, but hopefully we'll see you again soon on the show. But thank you again for being a blessing to our community. We just appreciate you. All right, Robbie G, I'll pass to you, sir.
All right. Listen, everybody, we had an amazing show today, and we hope you're tuning in every single week. And just again, we want to make sure that you're going to masterconnector.show, seeing who we got coming up, and tell somebody about the show. Somebody you know needs to hear from a guest that we have on here so that they can further their opportunity. We want everybody to succeed. We're all about creating communities and networking with one another. So I'm going to pass it back over to Steve to close us down.
Absolutely, big time. And by the way, if you want to, shameless plug, if you want a gift for the holiday, think about getting my book, The Tao of a Master Connector. Just saying, great book, the gift that keeps on giving. But next week, last episode before we end up 2025, because the next Wednesdays will be falling on Christmas Eve and Christmas and New Year's Eve. But yeah, next week, the episode 192, and it's going to be Growth from Within to Thrive with Zefzan, my friend Zefzan. It's going to be incredible. Don't miss it. Same back time, same back channel, 12 to 18 week from today. It's going to be amazing. And then, of course, don't forget, go to masterconnector.show. Not only if you want to sponsor a show, you learn about how that works. You can also see some of the upcoming shows we're booked out, like Rob said, well into 2025. You also see that we're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so go in there. But I want to kind of end with one quick story here. Viola Davis embodies the idea of igniting your life. Born to extreme poverty in South Carolina, she faced a childhood filled with hardship, including hunger and instability. And despite these challenges, she tapped into her emotional intelligence and inner resilience to fuel her passion for acting, becoming a celebrated artist and the first Black actor to achieve the Triple Crown of acting. Her story inspires others by showing that embracing authenticity and perseverance can lead to extraordinary triumphs, lighting up path for those who dare to dream. Hey, folks, let's make sure to embrace authenticity, have perseverance, and always dare to dream, which in turn will ignite our light so we can be that light for others. God bless. See you next week.
And you start to hear some of their challenges, and yes,
because it speaks to the core of who you are and what drives you forward. Because what makes you different is what drives you.